Alright, you horrible lot. So it's the day after we've taken the oak tree down. So we've logged it up and we've kept the sections that we're going to slab up. So these are the two straightest sections that we could find. So yesterday I thought, oh yeah, we'll get some 2 metre slabs out of this. There was a very slight turn, like a kink in the timber. And then underneath is where that limb had torn out. So we're going to try and slab up. So we're missing that. We've had to get the block and tackle on to roll the log over. Is that the only way really that we could get the tear to the bottom? So we're going to get stuck into this one first. This is the biggest one, and then this one might just need rolling over 90 degrees because we've got a metre mill, but this. Yeah. So what did I say yesterday? 1.3 metres in a measure. 1.25 metres. So that's not too bad. So we're still almost a foot wider trunk than the mill. So we'll set our we'll get our first slab off, see what the timber's like inside, then we might have just to roll it over again. So we'll come back and see how we're getting on. First slab taken off. So we could probably only get one more slab out of this before we've got to roll it over again. But with that first slab, we've revealed all the heartwood and this beautiful cross grain. So just have a closer look. Look at that. It's beautiful, that, isn't it? I love those those cross grains in it. So each one is going to reveal more and more beauty. So I think we'll take one more slab off, roll it over, and then we'll do a time lapse so you can just see us blasting through it then. Right, so we've taken the slabs off one side, rolled the log over. We've taken we've taken the first slab off the top. So now we can go probably halfway down this log before we have to roll it back again. So we're going to get some beautiful, just short of 3 foot wide slabs of premium oak. So we'll come back and see how we get on. You horrible lot. So we're back the day after the day before. We've got quite a few slabs out of this timber now. Just have a look, see what we've got. Just get a bit of water to show off the grain. What we've got there, 2, 4, 7 5-foot slabs, 2.5 inch thick, just short of 3 foot, so they're quite impressive of them. Oh, that grain's just come alive there, so you can imagine what that's like when it's going to be sanded and polished up. They look incredible. Incredible. Right, so back to what we've been doing. So what we've had to do here, as we said earlier, keep turning the log through 90 degrees until we can get a plane where our mill can run through. So we've got it now. So that's just short of 1 metre wide. So we can slab that right down to the last slabs. But if you remember when the tree came down originally, the reason why the tree came down originally is because of that tear. So we've rolled it over and the tear is going down to the ground now. So we'll probably get down to maybe like here before we have to start making smaller slabs and cut out that tear. Because the tear is no good because it opens up all that grain. So we got down near the centre of the log now, and see if we can look at this. There. So I don't think you'll be able to see, but if you come and have a closer look. So as we all know, the growth rings denote the age of the tree. So this is a 350-year-old tree. But what you find is when you get to slabbing towards the centre of the log, we've just gone past what's called the pith. So when that acorn pops and a tree is born, you get like a spongy, what's called the pith, up the centre of every tree, and that. So each year that passes, the tree will put another. Well, you can't really see it on this. Oh yeah, we can. Yep. So just have a close look at the grain, and if you can see the brown lines. So what the tree will do is around the pith, it'll put those brown lines on in spring, and they're the growth rings. And then in the summer, it fills in with that white layer. So that's what makes the grain in the timber. So the tree will put the brown lines on in spring, and then it fills out in between in the summer. And you can always tell a harsh year, like here. I don't know what, and that was definitely overcoat weather, because that's really some really hard years for the tree, because it hasn't put right big growth lines on. But when you get to something like that growth line, that must have been a beautifully warm loincloth sort of weather. So yeah, so that's the pith of the tree. Now the pith will always degrade once the tree's been cut. So what happens then is it'll cause splits to form around the pith and around the centre, the heart of the tree. So you can see here where, so that's probably about an inch above there was the pith, and we've got that big crack running right all the way up there. So we could use it for slabs. We could resin that crack, get some features in it, because once this is dried, that crack will open up. But what we've done is we've cut this for some mantelpiece beams. So once these are dried, all that character's got to open up in that beam, and then we can dress it up as we wish then. And you can see, so that's the top of that set of beams, that's the bottom, and that crack obviously is replicated there to a lesser extent because we're moving away from the pith of the tree. So what we've decided to do with these two sections around the pith was turn them into beams. So we've got some 5-inch beams here. So what we've done is cut a 5-inch slab, turned it up onto its side, because we know we've got that perpendicular angle there. So what we can do now is we can run the mill down at our denoted width of beam. So we might go for like 6-inch beams. Might be 4 or 5 beams out of there, 5 foot long. Now you can't use, it's inadvisable to use timber around the heart crack as structural, because obviously with it being oak, it's one of the strongest timber you can get, but the heart crack will weaken it. So I'm going to be using these as like mantle pieces above fireplace installations that I do, so that it doesn't matter. The more cracks the better for the character. So we're going to get another 4-inch, that's a 5-inch. So we're going to get a 4-inch slab out of this next, and then we might get a few more slabs out, and then we'll come back and we'll probably do a time lapse of how we make the beams. Coming to the end of the day, we've managed to blast through this massive beam, this massive trunk. So probably about 2 ton there. We've got about a ton of timber slabbed up there, and probably about half a ton here, and then some other bits that we've cut off, a bit of firewood on the bottom. So these are the 4-inch beams, sorry, the 4-inch slabs, and we know that that's perpendicular, so we can use that as a flat edge to mill off now. So we're going to cut some 6x4 beams out of this. So they're 5 foot long, 4-inch wide, 6-inch, we're going to be cutting them 6-inch wide. So we have some nice beams there. Right, so we've set the mill up. Look at this marvellous contraption. So we did used to have a smaller mill, We got rid of it because we never used it, but the smaller mill will come in perfect today. So we've only got the 4-inch slabs to cut. So we've put the 362, we've filed down a chain to 10 degrees and we've fitted to the mill, and we've got this 6-inch depth there, so we can cut a 6-inch beams. So we'll set a time lapse up and you can see us blasting through this slab. Right, so we just blasted through that slab there, got it sectioned down into the beams. So you've seen how we did it. We've got another 3 slabs there left to go. So where that tear was on the bottom of the trunk, we've just cut a couple of foot off the beam. You could do anything with that, couldn't you? You dance round it, you could carry it around all day, you could put it over pretend you're Jesus and walk up and out street with it. Or you could fasten it above your mantle pit, above your fireplace. So because we've slabbed it with the Alaskan mill, and we haven't used a like a bandsaw, you do get. Let's have a look at the grain here. It is like a textured rough cut. So once these are all seasoned, these will go and get machined up, and we'll be left with like a nice square beam planed up all round. And then what a lot of customers sometimes want is like a distress beam, so we'll just smash up the sides of it. Hopefully by that point some of these cracks have appeared and there'll be something beautiful to hang your Christmas stocking off. So we'll smash up, we'll blast through the rest of these, and I think we'll end up with about 25, 26 beams altogether. So we've had to swap the chains over from the slabbing chains, because that was sharpening. So for whilst we're swapping the chains over, we put the cross-cutting chain on. So the angle for slabbing timber, for ripping timber, is 10 degrees. The angle for cross-cutting timber is 45 degrees. So the cutters are filed to 45 degrees on this one. Exactly the same bar, same mill, but just a different angle chain. So when you're cross-cutting, we're going across the timber instead of along it. So what we can do with the rounds is we can make some beautiful cookies, some nice, even, parallel cookies of timber. So we've got the oak here, with exactly the same process as on the slabs. We've screwed the ladder down so we can get that flat first planing. So what we're going to do is we're going to make cookies out of this one and that one. So we're going to do a time lapse. So we'll do the first cut, and then we'll put the ladders onto the next log, do the first cut, and then we'll adjust it to the size of the cookies we want, and then we can just slab everything down from that, because we've got our nice flat plane to slab off. So we'll set up a time lapse and get stuck into cutting some timber. Cookies galore, they call them McVitie's. So we've got 5 cookies there, 5 coffee tables, 5 big clocks, 5 whatever you want to do with them. So we'll just splash a bit of water on them. Look at that. Just have a look at this. So there, coming up out of this limb, there was another branch coming out of the tree there. You can see 3 separate limbs coming out, and then the red line here, that's called heartwood. So that's the skeleton of the tree. That adds the rigidity and the vigour to brace itself with the storms. But unfortunately, say with this tree, succumbed to the last storm that blew through. So when the tree gets to maturity, so for an oak tree that'd be like, I don't know, 40, 50 years, it'll start turning sapwood. So the sapwood is what takes the water up the tree and the nutrients through photosynthesis back down to the roots. So, so that white line there, that's the sapwood. And then once a tree gets to, like I say, 40, 50 year old, it starts turning the sapwood into heartwood. That's what gives it this beautiful red colouring. But with a lot of diseases that'll afflict hardwoods, certain funguses will attack the heartwood. So a lot of trees that you'll start working on, the heartwood will start rotting out. So that, like I say, that removes the vigour of the tree, that stability. So yeah, right. Well, oh, that's an interesting one. So you see all that foam. So that in oaks and alder, I think, there's a compound in the timber called a saponin, and saponins, they're like you see there, it's like a foam. And in the old days, they used to boil up acorns, I think acorns, or maybe the bark, and the saponins come out, and that's what they used to wash the clothes and stuff with. So yeah, you know, useless information. Right, I'm going to file this chain back down to 10 degrees and we'll carry on getting some more beams out of that big bit of timber. Back down at Pennygale on Mull. We've got one log left to slab up. This is, what will that have been? Maybe 15 foot up the tree, and it's still like a metre wide at the base. So there should be some beautifully dead straight slabs come off this to join the pile of goodies that we've already made. And bonny stuff. So we fasten the ladder, the straight edge to the top. Just as you're screwing it, just a little point I forgot. So when you're screwing it down to the log, you just have to make sure that when you nip that screw up, it doesn't pull down, because the ladders can be bent or skewed or off a little bit. So we screwed it down just so it's just biting. The ladders are stiff, they're not going anywhere, and then we can get our straight plane, our first cut off that. So we'll get the saw fired up, get this first slab up and see what we're dealing with. So that first slab's off this one. We can see what it's revealed underneath. So look at this character. The grain just flows around these branches that were coming out, and these pips here, some like pippy oak. Beautiful timber. Right, so we'll just keep slabbing. I think we'll probably take 2.5 to 3 inches off these, and we'll just keep going. We'll set a time lapse up and you can see us reveal the beauty inside this log. Right, so we've got all the slabs finished up, the slabs slabbed up. The battery ran out yesterday, so on the penultimate slab you missed what we're going on, but never mind, you got the gist of what we do. So this is the contents of the slabbing that we did yesterday. And you can see just how quickly the colour changed in the timber. So that's the heartwood. Was white, that was red yesterday when it was freshly cut. So that'll continue to change colour over the time, and it will end up like a lovely grey colour. But we're going to these are going in a barn now, and these have been in there for 3 years, so we're just going to forget about them. And then once they're all seasoned, and we'll start machining them up, flattening them, making them into some tables, shelves, chairs, toilet seats, chopping boards, whatever you want. So yeah, so I really hope that we've done this oak tree justice with the slabs that we've cut out of it. So we've got the big slabs that were up there that we cut first. They're all gone now. We cut some beams. We've got 26 6-inch by 4-inch beams, and then we've got these slabs here. So these are like I think they were 75 centimeters. The top they go down up to 1 meter, 5 foot long. So we shall make some bonny stuff out of them. So it's just a real shame now the tree's gone. I presume all these hazels will thrive now, and plus over the 350 years that the oak tree was standing, every year it's dropping the acorns. So a lot of those will be pre-stratified in the ground, and now that the light gets to the ground, there should be a lot of acorns germinating here. So the DNA of this tree shall proliferate for another 350 years. Yeah, so it can't tell some stories, this oak tree, can't it? 350 years, but with the furniture that's being made, you know, hopefully there'll be plenty more tales told for the 400 years that people might be sat around these tables. So I hope you've enjoyed this, like me waffling on and taking up your time. I hope I've earned your subscriptions. See you later.